Good morning. Thank you for joining us uh, for our mastery and training series here with Infinity. Give me just a second. We will get everything going here. We want to just thank you for joining us this morning for this webinar that we're going to have with y'all. And we will go ahead and get started here and get everything pulled up for you. We are, of course, our training and mastery, and we are doing a deep dive into the INFINITI Fleet Safety Training program. And today it's going to be featuring learning paths. So we are going to go through and talk about learning paths and how you can use that in the system to do training. And of course, we are INFINITI Fleet Safety Training. We are number one in return on safety. We talk about and help y'all transform safety from a cost center to a measurable profit strategy within Infinity. We have 26 years of first in trucking, over 190 million training sessions delivered, over 3.5 million people trained, and 5,000 safer fleets that we have been able to work with. So Learning Path overview. With Learning Path, you can automate training plans. Through that, you can automatically assign and update training based on roles, requirements, and progress. It allows you to control the order of training. You can define the sequence of courses to ensure knowledge builds in the right order. You can set employee or position specific development tracks. So you can create customized learning paths for employees or positions to meet specific goals, whether that's new hire coming through and doing orientation training, or it is an employee moving from one position to another. It allows you to create a structured development track for them. It supports comprehension and information retention. Structured learning paths improve understanding, engagement, and long-term retention. It's the right training at the right time to the right employee, which in turn equals a safer workplace. So that's kind of the overview of Learning Path and what it does in the system. So with our Learning Path, safety never stops, neither do we. It is an increased visibility of employee training. It saves you time because you can set it up once and you're done with it. Training with consistency, manage large training plans, and again, set it and forget it. So it allows simplicity in your training. And Infinity Learning Paths, again, we assign, there's in progress. As they're going through the progress, it will unlock the next step in the training to allow them to continue for as many steps as they need to. And then once they've completed their training through the different steps, then it's unlocked to each assignment. Then once they're done, they're complete. And they've done all the training and everything is tracked and recorded. There are different learning path triggers, and we've done, Caleb did a pre-recorded training that takes y'all through the learning paths where we will show you all the triggers, but you can do so many days after completion. You can do as soon as the first assignment's completed. You can do when it's been attempted, as well as a couple others, and we'll talk about those. This allows you to have compliant fleets, fewer incidents, lower cost, and a stronger culture. So again, with our LMS, it allows you to do the automated triggers on time, measurable results, safe for drivers, which equals stronger fleets. And so, kind of our motto here and what's true is your greatest asset and greatest liability is the behavior of your employees. Ultimately, the choices that your employees make each day is either your greatest asset in your company or it can be your greatest liability. And we know, and it's proven, behavioral change equals frequent, consistent, and required. And through the Infinity platform and system, we help y'all to be able to do that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Caleb did a pre-recorded training walking you all through learning paths. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get that video started and we're going to play that video. And he'll walk through the basics of it. And then, of course, if y'all have questions, want help setting this up, you can always, reach out to your CSR, reach out to us after this meeting, and we'll be more than happy to help y'all with anything that you need.
The important thing to know about learning paths is they are using templates as their individual components. So I'm going to show you real quick in case you don't know how to make a template. So you go to assignment templates on this left-hand screen, this menu here, and then you're going to click on new template to create a new template. So like an assignment, a new template needs a name and a description. The description typically will be something a little more detailed than this, but I'm just going to use this for now, just for the demonstration. You can assign your passing grade, select assignment types. I'm just going to do assignment and resource. You have these assignment options for excluding users or showing summary results, and expiration options if you want to change that from the default. But we're going to go ahead and hit next. This is where we will add our content for the template. I'm going to use some of our hours of service content. I've already got, as you imagine, 2 parts before this that I'm going to use later. So I'm just going to add some of these last parts of our hours of service series. Just click add on the right here for any of these you want, and then you can click remove on the right here in this list up here if you decide you don't want something. Then we'll go to part 3, the notifications. I'm just going to do some standard user notifications and complete for admins. We're going to just ignore the tags for now. They're not going to be relevant to this demonstration. And we'll hit back. And we can now see the template we just made right here. So now if we want to make a learning path, we will go to assignment learning paths right here. And to make a new one, we click on this green check mark or green plus sign up here. So we're going to give our learning path a name right here. We're also going to give it a description. Again, you would be more detailed typically with this in a real learning path, but I'm just going to use this here. It's going to go ahead and default to activated once you create it. So we're going to hit next. So here we're going to select the first template in the learning path. So I'm going to select my new hire orientation part 1 and then hit add selected template. Now here we can change the name if we want, but most importantly, we're going to set the duration of this first assignment. I'm going to make this last 30 days. We hit the green check mark right here to confirm. Now here we will choose a start date for this first template. I'm going to click on this calendar right here, this calendar icon, and just select today's date. Now we will add users to assign this to. I'm going to just assign this to myself right here. And we can also assign groups. An interesting thing about assigning groups is you can have a membership trigger. So let me go ahead and make this orientation group part of our learning path. Now, automatically you'll notice that the group join trigger is enabled. What this means is if you add someone to this group that wasn't previously in it, they will automatically be assigned this learning path. This existing membership trigger just means that anyone who was already in it will also get it, but that already happens. So, and then you can also click here to view any users in the group. I don't have anyone in this group right now. It's just a demonstration group. And then from there, we're going to click Add Assignment Template to add the next template in the learning path, which again is going to be New Hire Orientation Part 2. Again, you can use any assignment template you make for this. So we'll click Add Selected Template again. And you'll notice, once this loads, it's going to look a little bit different from the first one we did. Here we go. Oops. I added 2 on accident. So let's select a duration for the second template. Same as before, hit the green check mark, and now we're going to add a trigger. This is what will make the second template begin after the first one. There's a few different triggers we have here. You can have the second template start after the first template is attempted. You can have it after the first template is complete. A number of days after the start date of the first template, a number of days after attempting the first template, and a number of days after completing the first template. For this one, I'm just going to make it so that it is assigned after attempting the first template. You can see our trigger added right here, and we can remove this trigger if we want by clicking this red X, but we're going to keep that for now. And we're going to click this green update right there, template updated down here. And now I'm going to add one more template to this chain here, this learning path. Add new higher orientation part 3. That's the one we just made a moment ago. We'll click add selected template. And you see it goes over here right next to the second template. We'll make this one 30 days as well. Click this green check mark, and it will update and add the triggers option. For this one, let's do number of days after attempt. We'll do 5 days. Actually, I decided I don't want that one, so I'm going to just click on this red X right here. Get rid of it. Go back in. Let's do number of days after completion instead. And again, 5 days, just as an example. All right, so the trigger's been added down here. And now, if we're content with everything we've set up for this learning path, you see we have, it's currently a draft. We haven't actually published it yet. We've got our name for the learning path. The first template is set up here with its duration, users and groups, and its start date. And then down here, all the subsequent templates after the first one. Same setup, except that these templates will have a trigger attached to them, which will make them be assigned after the previous template at some point. But if we're content that this is finished, we can go ahead and click on Publish right here. Now you will get this disclaimer notification here. It will tell you a lot of important information about what you can and cannot do once you publish the learning path. The important thing to note here is these two. You can't add or remove templates, so you can't make this longer or shorter, and you can't change the triggers inside the templates. So these triggers here are completely locked in after you hit publish. You can do some of these things here to change this after you publish, but these two you cannot do. These are locked in. But let's go ahead and hit OK, taking all this into account here. And right here it says path activated. So if we click back right here, return to list, we'll now see I have my new higher orientation learning path. Of course, you can always inactivate these if you wish. And as with assignments and users, you can also select to view only inactive ones. If you want to edit a learning path, again, remembering those limitations on what you can change, we can go in here, make some necessary changes. You'll also see some information about when it was changed recently and when it was created. You can click down here again to see that first template and the people you've assigned it to, and all the subsequent templates and their triggers. Back again. And that's really all there is to learning paths. They're actually pretty simple when you sort of get a feel for it. I hope y'all appreciate this demonstration and have a wonderful day.
Righty. Okay, so now that we've done the demonstration, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat, and we will be more than happy to answer any questions out there. Looks like everyone has a firm grasp on learning paths. If you're interested in getting learning paths set up in your training program, please reach out to your CSR. We are readily available to get those set up for you and deployed as soon as possible. For those of you who are not currently a client, we would like to, and you would like to kick the tires, we do have a poll question. If you'd be interested in a trial, uh, please let us know by answering the questions, and we will reach out to you and get you set up to kick the tires and really see how the platform itself works. And also, if you're in attendance and you need your NatMe credits for your attendance here, please reach out, fill out the survey, and we'll get that taken care of as well.
We did, Chuck, have a couple of questions that popped up in the chat.
Okay.
Jolene, yes, for those that registered, we will be emailing out a replay link to y'all for the webinar today, so you will have a copy of the recording. And then Kevin asked about what are some typical learning path uses besides new hire. So there's a couple of different options that you can do for learning path. One, example would be not necessarily new hire, but say you've got somebody that, moves from being
All
a
right.
driver to a dispatch, and
Hello,
say when they
everybody.
Sorry.
This is
move
Caleb
in
with
to
Infinity Fleet.
being dispatch that they need to do training for the dispatch, you could then move their role. And upon moving them, say, from your driver group to your dispatch group, you could then trigger the learning path with a set of training that they need to learn to become a dispatcher or a terminal manager or their other position that they may move to within the company. And then also, if you have training that you need to get done throughout the year, you could create a learning path for that if it needs to be done at a certain time. So that's a way that you can also use learning paths as well, is for training like that. So anything that you've got that is preset that needs to be done in a certain order. So any training preset that needs to be done in a certain order is something that you could use a learning path for. You're welcome. Let's see. Any other questions from anybody else? Okay. Well, of course, as we mentioned, if y'all do have any questions or are interested in, if you're not currently using Learning Paths and you're interested in it, please reach out to your CSR if you're a current client. Let us know, and we'd be more than happy to go into more depth with you about your training and see how we can, make Learning Paths work for you.
Well, we thank you all for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next Mastery series. Have a great
Have a
day.
wonderful day.